Kalaupapa is a very special place to me. This place introduced me to someone who has taught me so much, even though I have not met her face to face. Alice Chang Kamaka was a daughter, a sister, a loving wife. She is also my grand aunt and Kalaupapa's longest living resident. Through her, I have learned so much about this place. My name is Tenny Cabrera, and I am Iolani School's head librarian. At age 8, Auntie Alice discovered that she had leprosy because of a strange rash and lack of sensation in her left leg. In those days, those who contracted leprosy were taken from their family by the Board of Health and never allowed back. In 1919, Auntie Alice was sent to Kalaupapa. She was 13 years old. She lived many years with the Sisters of St. Francis at the Bishop Home and spent the next 81 years of her life on Kalaupapa. A source of light, constant and never fading, arrived at Iolani in March 2015. The exhibit provided wonderful insights about the role of the Department of Health and isolation policies, the social injustice to patients and their families, and most important, the powerful stories of the patients themselves. The exhibit left an indelible mark on a group of teachers who felt a sense of urgency to tell the story of the patients of Kalaupapa. Inspired, we formulated a plan for a year-long, cross-curricular collaborative project in which students in our performing arts and history department researched the stories of the patients of Kalaupapa through various art forms.
E como aku hoi au Moloka ia ka bunu o waho nei la he ua, he ino, he anu, he ko e gu aloha e Maloko aku au.
In October, our administration generously supported a small army of teachers and staff to visit and develop a personal connection with the people and place of Kalaupapa for a weekend. It was transformational, the best experience we could ask for. Kalaupapa is unspoiled, rustic, and beautiful. It is located on a secluded peninsula on the north side of Moloka. The majestic cliffs rising from the sea, breathtaking from the plain, is in stark contrast to what I imagine Auntie Alice experienced by boat in 1919. For me, I wanted to experience Auntie Alice's life on Kalaupapa. Why did she stay there for 81 years? As soon as we touched down, we understood why. There were remnants of a great community that Father Damien envisioned and built for the people of Kalaupapa.
It's always a joy to come here. It's an emotional place. It brings out a lot of emotions in an individual by listening to the stories and the things that people have to share about this place.
It's mind-blowing how this place is just so full of love, where a lot of the world think this place was just full of sorrow. It tells something about the people here and about their resilience and their willingness to love and to lean on each other. And I think this is something that what a community should be.
Valerie, in a couple of our sessions with her, talked about how so many people have left the history of this place at the docks. There were families whose children were taken from them, children that were born here, and yet in spite of it all, they built churches and they organized social clubs and they took care of each other. And there's so much natural beauty, but even more beautiful than that is the beauty of the community that was created by the people that were here.
We heard about painters and artists and musicians and just people that built a community once they arrived. And I think, yeah, the ability to be resilient and to rebuild, that's powerful.
I guess when we first came here and we started walking around the town, I just thought like time had really kind of stopped here. And the peacefulness of this place, the generous souls of everyone that we have met, they really took over all the negative parts that you could put a human being through and prove that you can overcome anything. And you know, as Uncle John Arrudas had said, he goes, as I reflect on my life, I'm 91 years old, he goes, I had a great life. Was it an easy life? No, but it was a great life and I'm happy. I kind of look at things now, and I know I will look at things with a different outlook, a different perspective. But I'm just so humbled to be here and so grateful, so grateful.
It is an honor to be able to spend time with them and to soak in everything they have to give us, their spirits and their stories, and hopefully be able to translate that and make it available to not only for our students at Iolani, but also students all over Hawaii and even beyond.
I feel like this group has been bestowed this kuleana of, we have to make sure that with what little that we have left of their real voice, of their living voice, that's our kuleana, is to be respectful, to listen more than we speak. But when that listening is done, I think every artist here, every mind here has to listen, digest, and then tell that story so that we make sure that it goes on forever.
It was incredibly powerful, and some parts of it can't really be verbalized. But quite a successful trip that so many of us were touched beyond anything you could read in a book. And we came home with a ton of photos that we could share with the kids, and they had already been first quarter researching a person, a patient who had lived there. They were understanding it wasn't just this historical time frame, it was actually this understanding that these were people. This was somebody's, child, and they were just taken. The thought process was we wanted them to take their first quarter research and build either a fictional character around that person or use that person and then build something creative, a creative writing piece or an artistic interpretation of it. We had kids creating dances, we had kids creating art pieces. It added a whole nother layer of learning, a lot of which couldn't have been predicted but was really powerful.
The body of work created by these students were then handed over to the performing arts faculty. They then arranged a multidisciplinary performance piece, which featured over 300 musicians, singers, and dancers, and was performed at the annual dance showcase in April.
So many of these patients were artists. They wrote songs, they performed hulas, they performed plays, they sang, they started churches, and there's just like, wow, there's so much here. We have to share this story. We had the theater, we had choir singing those beautiful hymns, we had the orchestra, we had jazz, we had ballet, we had the hula, and together, and only together, I think, could this story really have that passion and that mana in there. So the purpose was to give our kids a sense of history about Hawaii, about our past, and to kind of give them an understanding of what it was to be in Hawaii back then and how people dealt with diseases such as that were scary, and how we can learn from that. Even some of the family members, some were born there, that sat there that evening. Some lived there, to have them there at the production. And they were just so thrilled that this story is not going to die, but continue through our kids. We as teachers are so proud of our children for coming together and putting something like this on.
The sunset of Ka Ohana.
Like my auntie, we cannot forget the life that they lived. The dance showcase is not the end, but the launching point for further conversation with Ka Ohana O Kalaupapa and the National Park Service. Iolani School now has a kuleana to honor and perpetuate Kalaupapa by retelling the patients' stories and keep their memories alive.